suck these big Irish balls. Hey. 100% this is, yeah? We're going in here 100%. I'm going into this fight 100% Conor McGregor, not 92.
Looks like Conor McGregor's back. We are so back, and we need to clear some rumors on this fight. You guys aren't gonna like this, but I think this Conor matchup is closer than a lot of people think. A lot of people are acting like Max Holloway has the hands of Zeus, like he's some type of Alex Pereira archetype, and he's just going to chin him in the first round. But Conor could drop Max, okay? Conor's fast twitch. And the fact that this is at welterweight, it makes it very interesting because we have Conor McGregor, a very heavy-handed, fast twitch fighter that is going to lunge at you with big uppercuts and a big hook and a big right and just come at you with heat in the first round. And we've seen Max get dropped by Dustin and Gaethje in his recent fights and get slumped by Ilya. So his chin is crackable. It's not the uncrackable chin. He's not getting knocked down once in every 10 fights like he used to be. This isn't a simple striker like Gaethje where you're just going to see overhands and jabs and clean striking. You know, Conor McGregor is going to throw a spinning back heel kick at your head in the first round and then go to a body kick into a leading uppercut into a hook into a cross. So this is a very different fight. The dynamics are different because we got to remember that Conor McGregor has very different and unorthodox striking. You know, he was one of the first people to spam those side kicks, one of the first people to spam a hook kick. Very strange things that throw people off, and it could definitely throw Max off as a guy who lunges forward. You know, Max is a very heavy cardio boxer, and he comes forward with a lot of pressure, and Conor's a sniper. That is a big factor here. Conor being a sniper, that means so much for this matchup. We could be seeing a Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor type matchup. You never know. Like Max come forward, lunging forward, and just get clipped by a big cross because Max does like to throw 1-2, head, body, and just load up. And Conor McGregor is at welterweight and is looking big, okay? He's looking big. You know, he's a little smaller than Max in terms of the height, but in terms of the reach, he's got him by 5 inches. So there's a discussion here that Conor could sleep him and snipe him. And a lot of people are underrating Conor because they look at him and they look at his 2 fights against Dustin and they're like, well, that wasn't too good. But that was the best uncrowned champ of all time. That was a fighter that KO'd Eddie Alvarez, KO'd Gaethje, beat Max Holloway. That is a fighter that is very elite. Prime Dustin Poirier beats Max Holloway. You guys got to remember that. He beats the hell out of him. 49-46. You know, and people like to say Dustin was a featherweight and Max was a featherweight too, so what's the difference? Nah, Dustin was way too big. Max Holloway was fine at featherweight. That's the difference. Dustin walks around at 195, 190 maybe even. And Max walks around at 175, 180. There's a 15-pound jump. Dustin is way bigger than Max Holloway in just girth and size overall. So the argument stands here, is the 37-year-old version of Conor McGregor better than the 36-year-old version of Dustin Poirier that fought Max Holloway at welterweight? That's the difference. Do you guys think that Conor McGregor outside of his prime is a better fighter than Dustin outside of his prime at similar ages? Because when Conor and Dustin were both similar ages back in featherweight, Conor mopped the floor with Dustin easily. So how much does that amplify nowadays? And another thing to keep in consideration is Dustin kicks the legs way more than Max Holloway does, and Conor doesn't have the greatest stance for taking leg kicks, as we saw consequently. So if the only really reference we have of Conor being bad is him losing to a Dustin Poirier who throws a lot of leg kicks and kind of has the perfect style to beat Conor. So we can't really say that Conor is this horrible fighter if he lost to the best uncrowned champ of all time. I mean, it was only 8 or 7 years ago that he was on top of the world. So I don't know. I mean, I think that people underrate Conor too much because he's kind of like, he's gotten into so much issues with like drugs and like girls and like just has such a bad name and such a bad rep that people are just undervaluing him way too much and not understanding that this is a strike for strike matchup. And you know, Max Holloway might have his spinning back kicks to the liver, but that's not going to hurt Conor as bad unless it gets to the 3rd or 4th rounds. So Conor has a real legitimate chance to snipe Max Holloway in rounds 1 or 2, and I believe in that. I truly believe in that. If we look at previous losses for Max Holloway, that'd be 3 times against Volkanovski and 2 times against Dustin Poirier. You're wondering, why do I point those 2 guys out? Because they're both southpaws, like Conor McGregor. They give him problems because he can't utilize his jab and throw things off the center and counter as easily as he could against orthodox fighters. And we've saw Max Holloway get hit with big shots from Brennan Allen, although Max Holloway won that shot, who's a southpaw, that gave him problems and was able to land the cross. So If Conor McGregor's hitting you with that cross, things might get a little bit more interesting, guys. So what do you guys think? Do you think Conor McGregor has a chance, or do you think I'm coping as a maximum Conor McGregor fan and glazer?